October 13, 2025, a date that will be remembered as a turning point in global trade relations. The world watches with bated breath as US-China trade tensions erupt once again, dominating headlines and sparking heated debates in every corner of the globe. In a move that stunned both economists and business leaders, the US has announced a sweeping 100% tariff on a wide range of Chinese imports, abruptly ending any hopes of de-escalation that had been building over the past months. This marks a dramatic shift from negotiation to direct confrontation, sending shockwaves through global markets. Stock prices plummet, investors scramble to reassess their strategies, and uncertainty ripples across financial districts worldwide. The White House claims the move is necessary to protect American industries from what it calls unfair Chinese practices, citing years of intellectual property theft and market manipulation as justification for the drastic action. China immediately condemned the tariffs, calling them economic bullying and vowing to retaliate with strong countermeasures. The Chinese government accuses the US of undermining global trade norms and escalating tensions unnecessarily. Beijing's strong response signals a readiness for a serious economic showdown. Behind closed doors, top officials and business leaders strategize their next moves, determined not to back down. Businesses on both sides of the Pacific are scrambling, facing mounting uncertainty about supply chains, future costs, and the stability of their operations. Many fear layoffs, price hikes, and a prolonged period of instability. The world is bracing for a new, more dangerous phase in the US-China economic rivalry. Governments and corporations everywhere are preparing contingency plans, unsure of what the future holds. Will these tariffs be fully implemented? How will China respond? And what will be the global fallout? Experts warn that the consequences could be far-reaching and unpredictable. The stakes have never been higher, with the fate of the global economy hanging in the balance. As the two economic giants prepare for another round of confrontation, the global economy holds its breath, waiting to see who will blink first, and what the cost will be for everyone. China wasted no time in striking back, responding swiftly and decisively to the latest escalation in the ongoing trade war with the United States. This time, Beijing targeted a critical US vulnerability: its deep dependence on advanced technology and the materials that make it possible. In a move that sent shockwaves through global markets, Beijing announced tighter controls on rare earth mineral exports. These minerals are the lifeblood of modern electronics, and the decision could have potentially devastating effects for American tech and defense industries. Rare earths are essential for everything from smartphones and laptops to electric vehicles, wind turbines, and even the most advanced weaponry used by the military. By restricting these exports, China is leveraging its dominance in a vital supply chain, reminding the world just how much power it holds over these indispensable resources. The timing was no coincidence. China's announcement came just days after the US revealed new tariffs, signaling a calculated and strategic response. China's message is clear: hurt us economically, and we'll strike at the very heart of your most important industries, threatening the foundations of American innovation and security. The US relies on China for over 80% of its processed rare earths, making this a powerful bargaining chip that could tip the balance in this high-stakes standoff. Now, American companies face the real possibility of shortages, skyrocketing costs, and production delays that could ripple through the entire economy, from consumer electronics to national defense. The tech and defense sectors are on high alert, bracing for major disruptions that could undermine both commercial competitiveness and military readiness. This escalation makes it clear: the trade war is no longer just about finished goods or tariffs. It's about control over the very building blocks of modern technology and the future of global power. China's move exposes a deep and previously underestimated US vulnerability, raising the stakes for both sides and sending a warning to other nations watching closely. With tensions at an all-time high, the path to resolution just got much more complicated, and the world is left wondering what the next move will be in this escalating economic chess match. Rare earths are 17 metallic elements, not truly rare, but difficult and costly to refine. China controls over 80% of the world's processed supply, giving it near monopoly power. These minerals are crucial for smartphones, electric vehicles, wind turbines, and military hardware. Their unique properties make them irreplaceable in many high-tech applications. The US military and tech industries are especially dependent on a stable supply. A cutoff could cripple production of advanced weapons and electronics. China's export threat is both an economic and national security challenge for the U.S. This dispute is about more than trade. It's about technological and strategic dominance. The US and China are wielding their economic strengths as weapons. The US uses tariffs to make Chinese goods more expensive, aiming to hurt China's export-driven economy and force concessions. Tariffs are blunt but fast-acting, signaling US resolve. China, instead of matching tariffs, targets US weaknesses, like rare earths, hitting at the heart of American tech and defense. This is asymmetrical warfare. China leverages unique strengths to counter US pressure. China can also tighten regulations on US firms, encourage boycotts, or disrupt supply chains. Both sides are prepared for a long, complex struggle, using every economic lever available. The fight is no longer just about trade, it's about power and influence. The world is watching as the two giants test each other's limits. This trade war isn't just a clash of governments, it's hitting businesses and ordinary people hard. US companies importing Chinese goods must pay the tariffs, often passing costs to consumers. Prices rise on everything from electronics to clothing, squeezing American families. Small businesses face chaos as supply chains are disrupted and costs soar. Some may lay off workers or shut down, others scramble to relocate production, a costly and slow process. In China, factories lose US orders, threatening millions of jobs and risking social instability. Chinese firms relying on US technology also face new hurdles. The ripple effects spread worldwide, disrupting global supply chains and hurting third-party countries. Financial markets react with volatility, slowing investment and growth. In a globalized world, everyone feels the pain of a US-China trade war. Experts across the globe are raising red flags, warning that large-scale tariffs often backfire, ultimately hurting the very country that imposes them. Instead of protecting domestic industries, these measures can trigger a chain reaction of higher costs and economic slowdowns. Dr. Emily Vance, a leading trade economist, explains, "A tariff is essentially a tax on your own citizens. It raises prices for consumers and businesses alike, and it slows economic growth. The intended targets often find ways around the tariffs, while everyday people feel the pinch at the checkout line." Supply chain analysts are sounding the alarm over China's tightening controls on rare earth minerals, which are critical for everything from smartphones to electric vehicles and advanced defense systems. David Lee, a prominent technology analyst, calls the situation a game changer. He says, "The US simply can't replace Chinese rare earths overnight. These materials are deeply embedded in global manufacturing, and finding alternative sources will take significant time and investment. Building new supply chains from scratch is a massive undertaking. Experts estimate it could take years, if not longer, to establish reliable alternatives, leaving US industries exposed to supply shocks and price volatility in the meantime." Ambassador Robert Jensen emphasizes, "This is about more than trade. It's a fight for technological and strategic leadership in the 21st century. The outcome will shape the balance of power for decades to come." Even if trade numbers are eventually resolved, experts agree that the underlying rivalry for global influence and leadership will persist, shaping international relations and economic policies worldwide. Yet, some see a silver lining. The current crisis is forcing companies to rethink their strategies, diversify suppliers, and build more resilient supply chains that can better withstand future shocks. Dr. Marcus Thorne notes, "It's a painful adjustment, but in the long run, it could make the global economy stronger and more adaptable. Companies and countries that innovate now will be better positioned for the future." The consensus among experts is clear. The conflict is about power, not just economics. It's a contest over who will set the rules for the next era of global trade and technology. As markets react and uncertainty grows, the world must adapt to a new era marked by shifting alliances, unpredictable policies, and heightened competition. The stakes are higher than ever, and the decisions made today will echo for generations to come. This is no longer just a trade dispute, it's the dawn of a new Cold War. The fight now includes technology, global influence, and competing worldviews. The US accuses China of intellectual property theft. China counters with rare earth leverage. The tech war is about who will dominate AI, 5G, and green energy, the industries of the future. The winner could set the rules for the global economy for decades. It's also a clash of ideologies, US free markets versus China's state-led capitalism. Both sides want to prove their system is superior, making compromise elusive. Decoupling is underway, reversing decades of globalization. The trade war is a symptom of a deeper, permanent shift in the world order. What's next? The future is uncertain, with several possible outcomes. Worst case, escalation leads to a full-blown trade war, global recession, and widespread pain. Best case, leaders return to diplomacy, pausing tariffs and export controls to restart talks. A third scenario, a simmering low-grade conflict becomes the new normal, with slow decoupling and persistent tension. Businesses adapt, but global growth slows and risks remain high. Ultimately, both sides must weigh the costs of conflict against the need for stability. There are no true winners in a trade war, only shared pain. The world hopes for pragmatism and compromise, but the path to peace will be long and difficult.